Hi, I'm Randy Reed, editor of the Edison Report, and we are here at Light and Building in Frankfurt, and I am joined by my good friend, Kaj Den Daas. Kaj, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm well, it's great to see you. And Kaj is on the board of directors of Valmont. Kaj is on the board of directors of Energy Focus.
Yep.
And are there other companies that you're on the board?
Yes, but that are all private. That are two listed companies, the
Okay.
ones that you just mentioned, and I'm on the board of two private companies, not in the lighting sphere. One is, they're both coating companies. One is Nano, and the other one is Sunray Scientific.
Okay,
Both,
excellent.
one is a startup, the other is a scale-up.
All right, I understand. Well, we're glad you're here, and I know that you have just arrived, so you haven't had a chance to look at the show. But what are your thoughts about Light and Building returning?
First of all, I'm happy that there is a platform for the industry to meet, to fraternize.
Right.
It used to be a love fest, you know. But I must say, this year is somewhat different. First of all, the timing, it's in the fall, it used to be in the spring.
Right.
Secondly, some of the bigger players have decided that they will not do shows anymore, like my
former employer, Signify.
employer,
Your life.
my life.
And what was your title when you left for our
I
audience?
was, chairman and CEO of then called Phillips Lighting North America, Mexico, Canada, and the USA.
And they've decided not to come. Do you think they'll ever be back?
I think that the philosophy of Signify is that they are such a strong brand with such a presence in 62 countries in the world that they feel that they have enough opportunities for customer interactions and that they don't need a fair like this. It's a choice. I mean, I respect it.
Right.
But I still think that apart from the customer part, there's also the bonding part among industry partners. You see many suppliers, competitors, and you have an open forum where you can legitimately talk to each other.
Sure.
About industry issues.
Sure. And I think that's healthy for the industry. And I think when companies like Signify believe that, and Acuity in the US, they do not support light fare, I think it does harm or does a disservice to the industry. Because we need them there, we need them at the table, they are a big drawing card, and we need to have these industry-wide discussions. Higher tide lifts all boats.
Like if you draw a parallel with shopping malls, they are the anchor brands for our industry, and it would be good if they're there, but hey, we can live without them.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people, exhibitors, and they're very happy here. They're very happy with the crowds. Most say that they were not expecting to see such crowds. Now, Sunday was slow because of the holiday.
Yep.
Monday wasn't too slow. Tuesday boomed. And today is a very good day as well.
I had an opportunity to walk all four because Valmont is there, and there's good crowds. But the show is also smaller in footage.
Right, so significantly smaller.
And at the entrance, I remember previous years you had to queue up in the morning to get your badge, but now you breeze through it like.
You do breeze through it, but the exhibitors are telling me because some of these big guys are not here, they're able to spend more time with more meaningful clients.
I understand that.
So we do think it's good. So Kaj, I know you, because these are publicly traded companies, you can't discuss what those companies are doing, but let me ask you the overall lighting market. How do you see the lighting market, first in the US and second globally?
Let me start with global. That's easy.
Okay.
So the global lighting market is down. It's depressed. If you look at market statistics, you look at any metric that you can find, the market is down. For good reasons, because the dominant technology now is LED. And in the old days, Philips used to sell, billions of incandescent light bulbs.
Right.
And 80% was replacement.
Right.
And with LED bulbs, there's no replacement. So that is a legitimate reason why the market has shrunk. We have on top of that geopolitical situations. We have supply issues because of the pandemic still out of China. And even today, 2 major ports in China are locked down because of the pandemic. So it's difficult, and that's one. The other reason is that the number one driver for the lighting market, also in the United States, is construction, and also the construction statistics are not good. The world is heading into a recession.
Right.
Again, based on these geopolitical situations that has erosion. So I'm a little bit careful about. I'm not bullish. I'm also not bearish, but I'm saying the market will remain stable at best for the next 2-3 years.
Okay.
But of course, that doesn't mean that every player in this market is. If you are a smaller player and you own a specific market niche or a channel, or you have a unique patent in some technology, there's absolute good opportunities in the lighting industry.
Okay, I would agree everything I read about the worldwide recession coming, but sooner or later, the war in Ukraine is going to end. The supply chain is going to get better, and the recession will help it get better. And then I think there's going to be pent-up demand, and I can see things in a couple years really doing great for lighting. Construction starting again, and very good times in 2 years. Do you see that?
Yes, because for instance, Ukraine, as soon as the war ends, we start the rebuilding.
Right.
And again, construction, whether it's building, there's lighting. There's also other parts of the world, the Middle East and parts of Africa, where there is good economic growth. So there are other markets that are really stepping up to compensate for the downfall in parts in Europe.
Okay. Do you see any new technology coming down the road that's going to do for the industry what happened in 2007, 2008, 2010?
Not yet. There are new technologies, but not so dramatic and not in light sources. I see the controllability, the control side of the business still the number one opportunity for the world and also for lighting companies. You have probably walked the streets of Frankfurt in the evening, hardly any traffic, but the street lighting is at full throttle. If we could just control it with either with an app or with presence detection, that it goes down to the minimum required levels, and once there's a car or pedestrian traffic coming, then it goes up. So they're controls.
But you could do that in this building. I'm amazed. I'm here most mornings at 7 a.m. I'm the only one here. The building is lit just like it is now. Fully lit at 7 a.m. and there are no people. And I just find that crazy.
It's the same in hotels. And of course you need to have minimum required lighting levels for emergency lighting. I agree. It's still controllability. And I know many companies say, controllability, then we are going into building automation, that's not for lighting. But there's still many opportunities for lighting control companies. There's other arguments that people say, well, many are Bluetooth or Bluetooth mesh, and hackers can then. So now you see more and more companies getting control devices over the hard wiring in a building, which is safer for.
But from what I've been talking to different people, though, the wireless controls, they do a lot with IOXT, and they have really secured it, I think, as well as it can be secured. There are some customers we talk to, like government, that no matter what you do, they're not going to do wireless. They have to have wired. Okay, we talked about controls. What about light and health? Is that an opportunity for the industry?
Yep. So, good point. The overall market is, I think, is short-term a little bit down, but it will stabilize, and in a couple of years, yes, it will go up again. But there are pockets, and horticultural lighting is one of them, UV lighting, and that is linked to health. To health and circadian, of course, lighting. So yes, that is definitely an opportunity.
Obviously, we didn't see any UV at the last show in 2018. I am seeing quite a bit here, but I'm not seeing as much circadian or light and health as I thought I would see.
No.
Because I think that the industry has to have something to latch onto for growth, and that's what I thought it would be, and maybe I'm wrong.
I think that circadian lighting, the US is further ahead than Europe.
Finally, we're ahead of Europe in something to do with lighting.
Companies, there's one in Florida called BIOS lighting.
Right, BIOS.
Really, and then our friends in the north, in the Rensselaer,
Right, and then the Light and Health Research Center, which is in Mount Sinai now.
A lot of good stuff. So I believe that the awareness also here in Europe, but that the translation of that awareness in concrete defined products is already more advanced in the United States.
Okay.
And maybe Japan, but I'm not so familiar with the Japanese market.
Is there anything you can share with us about Energy Focus and what their focus is or what they're doing?
Well, we have a brand new CEO, who is
Leslie Matt,
who is a crackerjack, and I always tell everybody she is everything I would love to have in my daughter. So
okay.
I consider her to be a daughter. And she is in the first 100 days, so she is investigating, analyzing, talking to people, talking to customers, talking to vendors, talking to the investors, all the employees. So we give her, the board has said, we give her time to get her own plan ready, and once approved by the board, to execute on that plan.
And when did you join the board?
I was asked to joined the board in July, and then because of listed company, all the paperwork and NASDAQ requirements, I effectively was this first week of September.
Okay, and when did she start?
Second week of September.
Okay.
It's just mere coincidence.
Okay, interesting. All right, you're also on the board of Valmont. Is there anything you can share about Valmont?
Well, Valmont is of course a big company, very big in agriculture, but the structures division is probably consists of about 60% of our revenue. And part of it is structures for communication, telecommunication, for
the 5G
distribution, 5G, but also distribution of power lines, etc.
Oh, I see.
But light and traffic is also a big component of our offering. And in Europe we have also a company, part of the Valmont family, which is based in Finland, Teomet, and they are the market leader in wooden poles. And of course with the whole ESG,
Right.
The whole environmental issue, wooden poles are really, they could be very decorative, but they can also be very strong. So
I visited the plant in Valley, Nebraska, maybe 30 years ago, and what I remember is the smelting. I remember, I just thought they used a lot of power and kind of their. How is that today with trying to be green? How does a plant that uses so much power go green, and are they?
So, as a board member, there are a number of issues that are always prominently on the agenda of the board. One is cybersecurity, but the other one is ESG, environmental, social, and governance.
Right.
And Valmont has really embraced and adopted the whole ESG concept and won awards for it.
Okay, great.
The first thing we do is to get all the our own house in order, all our factories. So we also have now in Valley, Nebraska, the largest, I believe it's the largest, but maybe I'm lying, but the largest privately solar field that will generate electricity for our own plants.
Really? Okay.
And of course, we have also a company called Convert Italy in our fold, which is the market leader in solar trackers. That means that the panels can then follow the sun like this, but also like this. So you get a better yield.
Okay.
So back to your question, Valley is one of our marquee factories, and we do have very, very good. And I will ask Renee Campbell, who is our executive vice president, senior vice president, to send you some of our ESG write-up on that, and maybe invite you over next time.
Okay, I'd love to learn more. Last question, then I want to let you go. Speaking of ESG, what about measuring embodied carbon in luminaires? Do you see that as a trend?
No, there is this movement of cradle to cradle, that
Right.
you go from the minute you mine the metal or whatever.
Right.
But embedded carbon, no, I don't. You see, the carbon footprint, the first thing you do is getting your own manufacturing. Then you go to your suppliers.
Right.
That is level 2.
Right.
But level 3 emissions, that's when you have to include your customers. That is the most difficult part. And I don't know any company that has already effectively and successfully done that. So,
But we're hearing they're trying. The different companies are trying and putting together reports.
we should. But it's very difficult because
Okay.
the minute you give your luminaire to a customer, you hope that he or she handles and uses it per the instructions.
Right.
And
Right.
that's not always the case.
You never know. Okay. Well, Kai, thank you very much. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.